there's the now of bikini, which I think 2 years ago, maybe I could have made it there already. But now it's just this world of bigger and bigger. And everyone's trying to chase that.
Welcome to the only place where real, raw, and vulnerable conversations happen with IFBB Bikini Pros to give you an inside look at their struggles, strategies, mindset, passions, and all of life beyond the stage. This podcast is made to inspire, motivate, and remind competitors and the average gym goer that even the most extreme lifestyles and elite athletes have their ups and downs. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm your host, Celeste Rains-Turk, and now it's time for the Confessions of a Bikini Pro podcast. Today's guest is a posing coach, personal trainer, and co-founder of Team Pro Fit with her husband, Taylor. This athlete is a former soccer player who has over 6 years in the fitness space, and she started her first prep in January of 2023, so recently, and reached pro status only 6 months later after winning her class and the overall at the Vancouver Pro Qualifier. And in her first pro season, she placed top 5 multiple times, including a second place at both the San Diego Pro and Wasatch Warrior. And beyond the success on stage, her journey includes overcoming an eating disorder over the last 2.5 years, along with low self-esteem and confidence, and now feels like she's found who she's meant to be. So I'm excited to learn about this athlete alongside of you guys. So welcome to the show, Bree Wilson. How are you doing?
That's like one of the first times I've heard someone say that out loud.
Oh my goodness. Well, there you go. Did I say your first name right, by the way? I should have asked you.
So it's funny that you said it like Brianna, because my husband also, when we first met, he's the only person in my life that's ever said Brianna. And I'm like,
Really?
so weird, but I either way is fine.
Okay, so it's Brianna Wilson.
Brianna Wilson is good. Bree Wilson, everybody calls me Bree, except Taylor. I feel like Taylor just calls me Brianna.
Oh, I love that.
I'm like, are you mad at me?
You're like, what's wrong? Yeah, I call my husband Paul Ford all the time. I'm like, Paul Ford, I love you, Paul Ford.
Taylor James Wilson.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, newly married, so you get to hear that
like
intro.
We just will hide the nail.
I love what nail? I didn't see it.
Nobody saw the nail.
So before we get into all the fun stuff, I gotta ask you, is there anything you do or think about, or maybe a ritual you have right before your heel hits the stage?
Yes, I will always talk to my grandpa. So he's passed. And I just feel like every time I think about him or like feel his presence, I'm just like, I'm gonna be good. I'm also like, don't fall. Don't poop.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Not unless perfect.
I mean, like, we would love to poop on show day, but
yeah, but not like right before.
In different circumstances.
Yeah. Gosh, sometimes it's like a blessing because you're like, this is awesome. And then other times it hits you and you're like, I don't have time anymore.
You're like, no, I'm going on stage in 3 seconds. Like, we gotta suck this back in.
I call it the nervous poops.
And it's always that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You always like get that nerve. Did you get that when you played soccer too?
I think I would get more just like a whole body I mean, I guess the nervousness would be the same, like generally the same, but
I feel like, I honestly, my experience as a volleyball player, those nerves were very different than bodybuilder nerves. Like volleyball nerves was more like it was coupled with this excitement and eagerness to like destroy. That's literally the word. I was like, should I use that word? But like,
yeah.
And then bodybuilding, it's more like this, it's like that nervousness of when you are going to give a presentation or you're going to be seen for something, because volleyball is you score a point and then you're closer to winning. Bodybuilding was like more subjective than that.
Yeah, climbing the ladder, kind of like new steps every step of the way.
Yeah, exactly. How did the foundation of bodybuilder Bree get laid? Was it through soccer or personal training?
Okay, I think personal training. So personal training gave me that, you know, new challenge. So I think around that time was when I started finding out who I was. So I learned about fitness. I learned about nutrition. I learned about how to, nourish my body and develop in certain areas that would help me build my physique, and change my physique. But within that, in my past, this was when, self confidence issues
Mm.
arose, I would say. Insecurities arose, and I didn't really know who I was. So around that time was when I think this was around 6 years ago, is when I started binging, purging. I think I was trying to lose weight in the wrong way, or I know I was. Um, and around that time, I couldn't get out of it. I was, in a bad spot mentally. And I think for a solid 3 years, I was doing the same thing over and over and over again, trying to like lose weight this way or like go through this self, deprivating cycle of like wanting to find out who I was, but like not doing it the right way, I would say.
Mhm.
Um, and overcoming that was a huge transformation for me. I think how I overcame that was having like a really, deep dive with my parents, actually. They helped me get out of that. So I think just speaking upon it, and like letting it out that I was doing that, was a huge, turning point for me. Um, and I guess going back to your question, how I, became who I am, bodybuilder Bree. I met my fiance 3 years ago, or not fiance, scratch that out too.
Husband now.
I met my husband, my now husband, 3 years ago. It's actually coming up on our anniversary very soon, August 29th. How many anniversaries are we allowed to have? Because there's
I
a lot.
celebrate everything. I'm like, our first date was February 23rd. We became official in April. We got married in December. Like all of them.
Yes,
They're
there's
all
like so
important.
they're all important. Um, so a lot of it's funny because how I met him was I think I manifested him, honestly. Um, I'm sure we'll get into this later, but basically
Yeah.
I was working at a gym at the time. I saw him walk in and I'm like, I'm gonna marry that man. And that was in
You were on the
2020.
Stairmaster, right?
No, 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 no. I
Working the
was
front
working front.
desk?
Yes,
Yeah,
working
that's
front
right.
desk. So he walked in and I'm like, I'm gonna marry that man. And that was in 2020. So like that was before COVID times. So maybe 2019? 2019.
It
Anyways,
must have been.
timeline.
It must
Yeah,
have been.
timeline, whatever. But yeah, I was like, I'm gonna marry him. So I was going through a breakup 3.5 years ago. And he walked into the gym that I was working at, the new gym. And I'm
Oh.
like, I think I'm gonna so I
Yeah,
slid in his DMs. Guys, normalize women shooting their shot, first of all.
do it. Absolutely.
Always do it. And yeah, we went on our first date August 29th, 3 years ago exactly. Soon. And he had competed, he just turned pro in that last July. His pro card's actually right there. So funny.
Love that.
He turned pro 2023 July, and then or sorry, 2022 July, and then I turned pro 2023 July, same show.
Oh, wow. Okay, okay. So
Yeah.
he's kind of been planting the seed in 2022 for you to compete. And then, like,
To an extent, I would say like he never wanted, I've always wanted to try it. I think over the last, like prior to meeting him, me, diving deeper into my role as a personal trainer and, overcoming the eating disorder and doing all of those things to like better myself. I'm like, okay, what's the next challenge? And then when I met him, it was very intriguing. I wanted to learn the process. I also, intentionally wanted to know what I was going in to, being with somebody that was in this world. I wanted to know like what emotions am I going to be, faced with? Like, is
Mhm.
this going to be up and down? Like, who am I going to be partnered with? So I wanted to learn what it was like to be a competitor,
Mm.
just so I can become who he needed me to be, for him.
So you could
So,
better, so you could essentially empathize with him.
correct.
So there's a few things going through my mind, which is I'll kind of go to the eating disorder first
Okay.
because well, what eating disorder did you have?
I would binge and I would purge. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So when you were introduced to competing,
Hmm.
you were in that year right around COVID was when like all the big cookie companies really started taking off and people were, making these. And it was like almost promotional of the post-show binge, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
I'm curious like how your perspective on competing was maybe influenced by your overcoming of binging and purging prior to actually competing.
So how was I influenced to compete? Say that
Like
to my
like how did overcoming that eating disorder
Yeah.
actually impact your view on competing?
Mm. One thing that I'm really proud of for myself, like me and my husband both, we take our preps very seriously, but our reverses even more seriously. Like I've always come out of each and every show with a perfect reverse. I have never had which is huge for me because
Awesome.
obviously I've struggled with the binge cycle, right? So I think having that in play in the past has truly, because I know I struggled immensely with gut microbiome issues after my eating disorder. So I think
Mhm.
mentally now I'm like, I never want to go back to that because if I ever want to make it to Olympia one day, everything needs to be on point. My nutrition needs to be on point, my gut microbiome needs to be on point. Mentally, I need to be like locked in throughout, honestly, entirely,
Yes.
right? And I think my mindset is just, it's hard because I don't want to say that it's easy, but for me, it was just a mindset switch because now I know what I want more.
Which is,
What I want more is to become an Olympian, perform at my best, and be the best person that I can possibly be doing that, not only for others, but for myself.
I love that. So, is your husband's goal also to go to the Olympia?
Correct.
That'd be awesome for you
I
guys to do
know.
that together.
I know. It's hard because for me I struggle with this guilt almost because for bikini, I mean, as much as the category is progressing and like they are getting bigger and leaner and harder. Although that is my specialty, lean and harder.
Hmm.
I struggle because I've gotten there fast. And for
Hmm.
him, it takes more time, right? To be a man and to be bigger, and every single year like the it becomes harder and harder to get to. I want him to get there just as fast as me, but unfortunately like that's just not the reality, I feel like, because he needs to grow every single year more and more and more, whereas I'm already at my almost cap. Um,
Hmm.
and I'm almost there. So we'll see how I'm hoping this year like really works out for him. For now, it's his show. He's in the spotlight and I'm taking a step back and just being the supportive role that he needs for me right now.
Aw, well, I think that you make really good points. I mean, first of all, like the bikini division, isn't the only division that demands a lot of growth.
No,
Like we've seen all the divisions take on new forms. And it's been really fascinating, even through the men's divisions when they started to introduce weight and height.
oh, I
Um,
know.
yeah, I mean, especially with your husband, you would know that better than I do.
Okay.
Because that pressure, and then recently people have been talking about like should bikini do that, and it's kind of crazy to me. The thing that's the most crazy is like we can't even get height right. Like I bet we've
Mhm.
all been different heights throughout our entire career
Five
and find
six, 5'4.5", and I'm like, hell no. I ain't 5'4".
what? Yeah, like
No.
okay. And then you're up there next to everyone. You're like, I told y'all I was not 5'4". But that's
Mhm.
besides the point. I mean, you're right. There's growth demanded in every division, and I think you going pro quickly speaks to the fact that you probably picked the right division for you. But also you had the history and the physique to support that.
Correct.
But guilt is interesting for you to
Mhm.
feel guilty. Um,
Mhm.
why guilt?
I think because for me and him, everything has been, we do everything together.
Mm.
Like everything. There has not been one day that we have spent apart since like we met, really.
Aw.
And for some people, that's probably crazy. But for us,
Mm.
it's just a
Yeah.
normal day. Like he's my best friend, and I don't want to spend any like waking hour with him, honestly. I don't
Hmm.
know if that's so toxic. I don't know, but it's not. Like I love
Doesn't
him.
sound like it.
My mom's like, "Hey, we'll wait until you have kids," and I'm like, "Well." So I think the guilt stems from wanting to do everything together and wanting to like take that next step and become Olympians together. But obviously, that's not the reality, and maybe it is. Maybe
Yeah.
it is. My manifestations come true, so it's a potential.
That would be so awesome.
It
Honestly, like
would.
the fact that that could happen, especially with you taking this time to really support him, and then
Yeah.
you could have your moment too. It's just cool that you want that success for him just as bad as you
Yeah.
want it for you.
Yeah.
And did he go pro quickly in his journey?
He he did. Um, I want to say I'm looking at his little pro men's speak shorts right now. I'm trying to look at the dates. So 2022, I think he did 4 shows prior to that. Four
Okay.
shows, I
Yeah,
believe.
that's good.
Either four. He's gonna be like, wrong, honey. You're supposed to know
Okay.
everything.
We can look him up on NBC and like confirm the details.
I think it might have been 6. I'm like, I don't know why I have that number in my brain.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
But he did turn pro pretty quickly.
Uh-huh.
So I think now it's just for us because honestly, like having, I think a lot of people do talk about this. Like when you turn pro quickly, you don't make it to Olympia quickly. There's 2 sides. Like if you're genetically really, really blessed, then yes, like there's like the Amy's, but then also there's the now of bikini, which I think 2 years ago, maybe I could have made it there already. But now it's just this world of bigger and bigger. And everyone's trying to chase that. So I think it's harder to turn pro and then make it to Olympia right off the bat.
Did you get feedback that you needed to grow?
Correct.
Really?
It's weird. So
That's
I
actually
got
wild.
I got second this year, and then eighth. And eighth was judged by Tyler. So that was a dagger. Um,
Who were the other two judged by?
so first judge was muscle contest. I can't remember his name.
Hamer or Tarek?
No. You'll have to come back to me on that one. But the second one was Wasatch, and Wasatch was judged by Steve.
Oh, okay.
Steve DeVore. He told me I didn't need to grow. He just told me my shoulders were a little bit too hard. Um, and if you go back to the San Diego show, my glutes just needed to be a little bit bigger because Emmy beat me twice. Emmy's got those like big, bubbly, like dense tie-ins, and I don't have that. I have short tie-ins. So, to be able to get that density to show and not fade when I'm filling is super hard.
I'm looking at your photos now because I wanted to like
Hmm.
have a visual for what
Hmm.
you're talking about.
Hmm.
And it's always been amazing to me with bikini how we can have different insertion points, right? Like you said, your glute insertion point is higher. Um,
Hmm.
and versus lower. And I liken that to like Laura Lee versus a Jen Dory. Like it's a different,
Yeah.
they're different, but they're both beautiful. Or even Maureen, hers are a little bit
Yeah.
lower, but they're
Yeah.
very full.
Yeah. Hmm.
So that's interesting feedback though to grow after
Yeah.
receiving the feedback that your shoulders were like just too lean.
Different every single time. So with Tyler, I asked him, I was like, just flat out tell me, like, should I shut it down and should I grow? He's like, I think maybe you should shut it down, take some time off, maybe like 2, 3 months, and then grow and then come back. So my goal for, I mean, like, there's 2 shows that I could do November, December. However, then so it's just an awkward gap, right? So if I took time off, then
Yeah.
I'm basically doing November, December, and then, resting for 2 more months and then restarting the circuit again. So it just doesn't make sense. So I think I'm going to solidify growth and come back better than ever because I haven't had an off season really.
Right. Well, yeah, you went pro so fast and then you jumped into I mean, to be able to go pro and then do so well on the pro stage, like that's incredible. And then you actually made a big change in your coaching too. So what led you to that decision?
I think I wanted something just different and new. And every single show I went to, I saw Jamie there, and I would always just I would get honestly like so nervous. She makes me nervous, which is a good thing. I think just like a little bit of a fangirl moment here and there.
Yeah.
Um, but I would always watch their podcasts and see how they interact with their athletes and what they promote. And they promote health, they promote beauty. They have such a good, I guess, just framework around family and
Yes.
a community. And I loved that. So I ended up going up to Jamie at one of at Legion, I believe, and I'm like, I love you. And I love you.
I
I
love
just
that.
like I loved what you promoted and I would love to book a call with you. And yeah, I guess joined her team in October last year, of this past year. So and then yeah, it's been amazing ever since.
What was her feedback?
Jamie's.
Hmm.
She's like, I don't know what happened at Toronto. I think, funny enough, we actually ended up, I just stayed at her house I would say 3 weeks ago, maybe, and we did a full examination of like everything. So we checked both front poses on both sides, which is one really hard for me to hit on my left side, but we ended up switching to that side. So now it's,
Whoa.
I know. Help.
Talking about like stretching, like I mean literally stretching because when I
Yeah.
try to put it on the other side, like my hip, like it's like I don't
Hmm.
go that far.
No, yeah, it's definitely different. I mean, they do always really try and hone down on posing on both sides because you should be doing it anyways. I don't know if you've ever seen, but if girls are hitting their back pose, there's always like one hip that's a little bit higher. That's why. It's
Hmm.
because you're not hitting both sides, so you have uneven balance on your other side. Right? So now I'm
Yep.
doing both. Every check-ins, I send it's both. I pose on both sides, send a video on both sides, and it's been better. My mobility is actually a lot better even in training. So
Good. Did you
if
get to
people
do like a training review with Drew?
I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and funny enough, apparently my core strength is good, which I was shocked about. Um, but I do have a hard time hitting RDLs correctly, which is hard for me to say because
Really?
yeah, so I get so with my glutes, I do have projection, like I have I would say a more bubbly butt. That's what happens when you have like the shorter glute
Yes.
insertions. You just get that projection. So I think I'm more dominant with like projection wise versus I can't properly connect. I can't put my big toes on the ground and drive with my toes. So he needs me to really focus on using toe pressure when I'm doing movements. And
Oh.
that's what will make me connect to my glute ham tie-in. And I'm not getting that at all.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I've noticed a big difference if I train doing like let's say hip thrusts, like the biggest difference I noticed was when I grip the
Your
floor
toes.
with my toes. Yeah,
Hmm.
like I'm actually like gripping fully. So
Yeah.
I think that's such good insight in general. Is there anything else you've learned about like and not even just from that assessment or that meeting, but like over the last year or so, like what have you learned about your body and your mind and that you're maybe working on or focused on?
So I think two things. Going into each show, I need to be in the most calm, at ease, peaceful place. And even like going into this interview, I say interview, but
Basically,
conversations.
chit
Yeah.
chat.
Yeah. Um, I need to not think. I just need to
Mhm.
not think, and I just need to be, mentally present day to day, or else I'm gonna overthink and it's gonna blew up in my I just need to be calm, cool, collected because I'm a stressor. um I think ADHD probably has like something to do with that. I have a million things going on in my mind at once. What's going to happen here? What's going to happen there? Am I going to fall? Like, am I going to stumble over my words? You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah.
I think going at my own pace over the last, since I started with Jamie, and it has definitely calmed me down and kept me more, mentally sane and prepared going into each show or just in my everyday life, honestly.
Yeah, I thought that I love that so much. Like, I had a mentor
Mhm.
who used to say, if you think you stink, like, don't take too much time to think because you'll end up probably executing poorly. And,
Yeah.
with all the practice you put in, all the effort you put in, a lot of the times it does just become, I don't even like saying second nature because I feel like most of us could do it in our sleep at this point, like our posing routines.
Yeah.
So it's like, why put so much pressure on ourselves, like right there backstage, as though it needs so much overthinking and replaying in our mind.
I mean, it's easier said than done. Sometimes I still like get in my head and it's hard not to be, but I think having Greg as my mentor and
Mm.
Jamie and Greg work hand in hand. Honestly, they are the best team. And he really like puts me in reality a lot of the times. He's like, "Why are you stressing? There's nothing to be stressed about." And I'm like, "Okay."
If you
On
say
to the
so.
next. Yeah. As I'm like, Actually, it was so funny. Yesterday, my husband sent me this thing on Instagram, and it was like a meme, and it was in the background. What my wife does before like going to the gym, she's always late, and it's like this little duck running like back and forth. But it's like his like little things like padding back, and it's
I love
hilarious.
it. I love
He's
it.
like, "That's you," and I'm like, "True."
That is so cute. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, like running back and forth. That's great.
Yeah.
It's good to have mentors and good to have people who keep us like grounded and obviously working with a new coach is going to bring new insights, possibilities. Is there anything that you're doing differently this time around as opposed to your previous experiences?
With coaching,
Hmm.
my coaches. So with my previous coach, it was strictly meal plans, and there was, I would say, like a more restrictive during the week in my off season, and then on the weekends it would be like a huge refeed. And if you know anything about me, which we've already talked
Hmm.
about, I've struggled with binging. So
Yeah, it's
that was,
terrible approach.
yeah, not good. But he truly changed. Okay, so there's two sides. He honestly is the best human. Came to my wedding, like
Aw.
literally changed my entire life, and created this champion mindset that I have. So I have everything to thank to him and Taylor, honestly, for getting me here. But the diet approach was just not my cup of tea, didn't flow well. And I think Jamie and Greg's approach now to macros has truly given me just freedom. My mind's at ease. I still eat on a meal plan, but it's just like the
Right.
thought behind it. Like if I want something, I can have it. I'll be honest, like I had wine 2 weeks out of one of my shows, Wasatch, my best
Mhm.
showing yet, because it's not that serious. And I want to come on to every podcast and say prep is not as serious as it needs to be, or as everyone plays it out to be.
Ooh, okay, speak to that a
That's a
little bit
sticky. That's
more.
I know.
Yeah, that's a statement, and we need more pros to say this. So talk to me, like, tell me
Okay.
this.
Should I take off my sweater? I'm getting warm.
I know I'm actually getting warm too, but like one foot is cold, so it's like I have one foot in a slipper, literally. Oh wait, you can't see because I have like, but this foot's like in a slipper, and the other one is not because I'm like hot and cold. Anyway,
That's funny. So, what I mean by that, and I'll say this like to my clients, to my friends, me and my husband talk about this all the time. Prep is not as serious as it play as people play it out to be. So, for example, my one bite rule doesn't count. If I want a bite, I'm gonna take that bite because if I don't take that bite, then I'm gonna go crazy and want multiple bites, right? Because one bite, it's done. Maybe I track it. If it's small enough, maybe I don't. As long as it's not like a daily habitual thing, then it's not really that much over your macros in the grand scheme of things. And is it going to make or break your physique? No. There's so many things that people do, like adding artificial sweeteners to everything. It's like at the end of the day, that's a lot of zero calorie stuff that you're adding. So I think that's going to do more damage in the long grand scheme of things than like one bite of some tiny little, treat.
hmm
For
hmm
example, for one thing. And I just think that finding this approach, macros, I mean, I've always known about macros. I've always known how to track macros. Jamie's pretty regimented for peak week. So when it comes to tracking sodium, when it comes to tracking everything, and it's dialed in for peak week, of course.
Yeah.
No bites of things for peak week, absolutely no. But
hmm
going into your shows, I would say like 4 weeks out, maybe having a little bit more freedom is okay. And I don't think it needs to be this like obsessive chicken, broccoli, rice, like to or die kind of thing. It's wrong. It's wrong. And I don't think that let's just talk about Ashley Kay for a sec. She
hmm
hasn't had a food scale in how long? She promotes that. And you know
Yep.
why she's doing so many shows and looks the same all the time, but better year to year? It's because, she's able to find that balance within her life and not be restrictive.
hmm And she loves what she's chosen to eat. She doesn't force herself to eat things she doesn't love.
No. So I think if we can all like take on a little bit of that mindset and not be so rigid, I think a lot of people can, come into the sport and leave the sport without eating disorders and without this scarcity mindset of food. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
it doesn't need to be what a lot of the time it is.
One of the biggest mindsets I generally have to unravel when I'm working with competitors on their mental health and specifically their food relationship is the idea that unless you are willing to be 110% in, then you are going to fail. And most of the times, that's actually like from an assumption made.
Mhm.
Not always what's been promoted, although unfortunately the industry has been guilty of promoting that idea for a
Yes.
long time. Like we still see it even today. Like, well, if you're not going to be serious about bodybuilding, why are you even bothering? Oh my gosh,
Mhm.
like people, please. They
Mhm.
wouldn't say that, by the way, if the person was doing well. And that's what frustrates me. They want to
100%.
it's like, oh, this person who is like literally the most winning IFBB pro in the world, like talks about this, but you're gonna shit on the person they placed fifth at their regional show because they had a bite off of their plan, and now you're gonna make them feel awful about it. Like,
Mhm.
come on.
100%. I know.
It doesn't help the promotion of the sport,
It doesn't.
and it doesn't help the healthy mindsets, and it makes that transition out of your show a lot harder because we have to admit, of course, like the criteria and standard demanded of us as bikini competitors is very high. We
True.
can't deny that. We
No.
can and for fit models too, for any
Mm-hmm.
division. But I'm relating bikini and fit model because fit models basically becoming bikini.
Yeah.
That's my
I
statement on that.
No, I honestly love it because bikini is just going to get harder and more dense, and I am all about the vascularity.
Yeah,
So
I was gonna say, girl, your last show, I'm like, you were vascular, you were dense, you were. I'm like, okay, so they
I
want it.
didn't get one feedback about that actually this year.
Did you in previous years?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
All last year my feedback was too vascular, and then this year nothing.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's very,
I know, it's crazy, right?
yeah, very interesting and informative actually. So I like your approach. Like the prep is not so serious as sometimes it's promoted to be. And I think sometimes it feels like, gosh, I don't want to offend anybody when I say this, but when you're young, starting in this sport, I was, you were, it can feel maybe cool
Yeah.
to be like, oh, I'm the 1% of the 1%. Like I put my all into this all the time,
Yeah.
every day. It's like, and so I think that's still a thing now where younger people are getting into the sport and they take on that identity
Yeah.
and then it hurts them later. But people like you or me, like we've established what is sustainable.
Yeah.
And I'm curious how have you like worked through the binging and purging so that it didn't show up in your competitor career?
For me, I think having Taylor honestly as a supportive role in my life, he is very just go with the flow. This is what, it doesn't have to be this way. You can enjoy this, you can enjoy that. I think having him has really created this, I would say, outlook that I have on food. And, he's created healthy patterns for me. And, we get to go out and enjoy food because before, I would always have this like, oh my God, I don't want to eat this because whatever. But he's like, one bite's not going to kill you. You're allowed to eat what you want to eat. And I think having him in my life has really guided me in the right direction and steered me away from anything binge related behaviors that I used to struggle with. But I also think that just having, the macros approach in my life now has taught me a lot about what I need to put in my body, what doesn't work for my body, like things that sit well with my guts, things that don't. Um, and, when you're eating 5 meals a day, you're not really thinking about wanting to stuff my face of XYZ. You're just eating to eat because that's what I need to do to grow. And I have a goal at the end of the day, and nothing's going to get in the way of that. So, not even
Mm,
my past decisions.
that's right. Yeah, I love that so much. I think that's a an important reminder to eat your meals. Not restrict because you will likely have a physiological response that could potentially trigger binge like or overeating behavior.
I think a lot of females, myself previously included, were taught to, wait till we have breakfast. Oh, that little fasting window, I might burn a little bit more fat. So I'm going to eat at noon and then I'm going to eat one meal and I'm going to space it out for the rest of the day, be super hungry. And then I get to eat whatever I want for dinner because, I burned fat through that window or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like that is what's creating your binge cycles. If
Yeah,
you're starving and you're ravenous, what do you think your body's going to do? One, it's going to shut down. Two, you're going to be ravenous and want to eat everything in sight. And then what is that doing? So it's creating
exactly.
this cycle over and over and over again that you don't need. So eat your
And
meals.
not to mention, then if you do binge or overeat and you try to compensate with cardio or
Hmm.
restriction of food, let's speak to the cardio aspect. If you end up doing extra cardio, you're naturally going to increase your appetite just from
Hmm.
excess movement. So
Hmm.
now you're perpetuating the same problem, not just from a physiological standpoint, but then psychologically, it's the justification that, well, I can do extra cardio, or I can do an extra workout, or I can
Yeah.
restrict food that makes the problem that you're trying to stop from happening actually happen more and more and more.
Yeah.
And it becomes very vicious. And eating disorders are difficult because you think that it's serving you in some way. You think that you have this control over it, but
Yeah.
then eventually you realize, oh my gosh, it's ruling my life. And I know there's certain things I can look back on my life and go, wow, that is so different. And I'd
Yeah.
love to hear from you, like, what was life like with the ED versus life without it?
I would say, like, just touching on what you said about having the control, I think the biggest thing was I was in a bad relationship, and that's why I wouldn't want to say that that was the main reason why I was having that eating disorder, but I've always struggled with all of my past relationships were you know, infidelity and,
Mhm.
belittling. And I think that was like the only thing I ever had control over was like what I was putting into my body and then what I was purging out of my body, honestly. So I think for me, living with it, I had this sense of control and um, nothing. I was almost like so focused on that I wasn't focused on like the infidelity and all of the stuff that I was also struggling with.
Yeah.
So now living without it, I just feel free. I feel happy. I feel nothing's like clouding my brain. Obviously besides competing and my husband
I
and like
love
the
that.
positive things that are in my life now. It's for someone like struggling with ADHD as well, I would say you just you once you get focused on something, it's this constant spiral. So
Hmm.
struggling with an eating disorder and that it was really hard to get out of, I'll be honest.
Hmm.
Um and I would be lying if I almost didn't, I still have those sometimes like thoughts that travel through my brain. It's like, oh, if I ate so much food for one sitting, there's I think it's hard for someone that struggled with that in the past to fully let go of that, you
Hmm.
know? And coming out of that, um, the mindset I have is this is when I'm full. And before past Bree would have been like, oh, I can get this out of my body right now. I don't
Hmm.
need this. Now I'm like, this better go to my butt.
Right?
That's it. It's
I love
going to the glutes, you
that.
know? Um, and there's moments where I'm sitting down and I'm like, past Brie would have been like so many things are going through my mind, whereas now it's just different. It's just more calming feeling when I'm surrounded by food and surrounded by events with food because I'm not having this ravenous thought of, oh, I need to go hide in the corner after I'm done this meal and get rid of it. Now
Hmm.
it's just now I can go back to family time and sit on the couch and just enjoy being full.
I love that. Oh, I love this comparison, and I really appreciate you also mentioning the ADHD because some of the things we see common between like ADHD and specifically bulimia nervosa or any sort of binge purge or binge eating, not even having to be bulimia nervosa, just simply binging,
Mhm.
is lack of impulse control, actually.
Mhm.
And impulsivity is like a higher trait generally in ADHD, which
Yeah.
I like to say, a lot of these things that we diagnose as mental health professionals, like so many of them can be other people's greatest strengths also. So,
Yeah.
you've really channeled some of your previous challenges. Not only you improved, obviously, I think bodybuilding improves our impulse control in a lot of ways. Um, But I think you exposed yourself to situations with less fear because you were in more safe and comforting environments, and that allowed you to explore
Mhm.
what would it look like to not have to hide after feeling this way? What would it look like to not have to feel bad about this choice?
Mhm. And just sit in it and
Yeah.
feel it, because I think that's a huge stepping stone into getting you out of that situation is I'm thinking about two instances in my brain. It's like before when I used to eat sushi on the weekends, I would purge all of it. right?
Yeah.
Years ago. Now, me and my husband just had sushi on Sunday night, and I'm like, help. But it's so good.
I
Like,
love
there's
it.
not a thought that goes into my brain anymore of, the scarcity behind what this food is going to do for me because now I know. So I think developing all the skills that I have over the past years of carbs, fats, protein, how it's going to utilize, me and help or utilize it to help me grow. I think knowledge is power and learning everything about nutrition really comes hand in hand with trying to help you heal.
Such a great point. And I think this recent season of your life too has really spoken to your ability to manage and excel in many areas of life. I mean, you had
Mhm.
wedding planning to other people's weddings and birthdays and running multiple businesses and really just doing the best you could, which speaks to what you said earlier. You want to be the best athlete you can be, but also the best person you can be in that process. And you did your best to show up in every area of your life. So how did you do it? And also in a post you had mentioned like really bringing your focus back to the journey more than the goal. So how
Mhm.
did you make that a priority? How did you manage all of these things?
Oh boy. Yeah, so we had my husband or my now husband had his cousin's wedding. And then the second we got back from that, well, flash forward also is why do I keep saying flash forward? Flashback, 4 shows, and then a wedding, husband's cousin, and then 2 events. So our stag, and then it was just a lot, and then our wedding. So I think how I managed to deal with all of that is making sure my schedule was, planned. Everything was planned because we're also running our business. I'm running my posing business. I have to train, I have to do cardio. There's so many things going into, you know, my life and I didn't know how to balance it. But I think every single day was just a new day. I would schedule out everything. Okay, this is what I have to do this day. This is what I have to do that day. And I think having ADHD is also a blessing.
Mhm. Oh, 100%. Like you can
Because I'm
really
like,
thrive in all of that.
you know what I mean? I was thriving. And I think when
Exactly.
I have less time and less things to do, I'm way more distracted and I can't focus on one thing. So
Oh, for sure.
that was the best thing that has ever, I loved it because we literally had 2 weeks to plan the rest of our wedding once we got back from everything. And I'm like, okay, table seating chart this, like where are all my decorations going? Like I think from help with my family and then help with Taylor, obviously, like we managed to get through it and we managed to create a schedule that worked for all of us. We booked all of our appointments, got everything done quick and easy. Honestly,
Aw.
we just kind of did it. Like, I don't know if there was a plan in place to, help me get there besides just learning to schedule it all in. But it was really fun while doing it. And I can't believe I did that. I'll be honest.
I know, right? It's crazy. Sometimes you look back, you're like, I did all of that at once.
And you're just like, I did all of that at once.
Yeah,
And my brain's just like,
exactly.
mush. But yeah,
Yes.
4 shows, 2 weddings, and a stag and a bridal shower. That's a lot.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot
Yeah.
of plane rides.
Oh yeah. Oh my
That's
gosh, for real.
nine in like 4 months.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
And
I'm sad it's over. I keep telling Taylor I wish we could have more weddings. I said every year we have to have a wedding. Like
oh,
every year on our year we have to do something because it was the best day of my entire life. And I wish I could relive it over and over again. Still waiting for our video to
oh,
come out, but
oh, that'll be awesome.
I know. I know. Yeah, I'm
Did you
excited.
save a piece of your cake for like your 1 year?
Oh no, we totally ate that.
I love that even more.
It was so good. Like he said post show, he's getting our wedding cake. It was a carrot cake,
Oh,
the best carrot. I'm a carrot cake connoisseur.
yeah,
The best.
that's
The
awesome.
best carrot cake. So yeah, we ate
That's a
it.
risky cake to serve at a wedding. I love that y'all just did what you wanted to do.
Oh
I love
yeah, we
carrot cake. Some people don't though.
No, you know what we're gonna do? So you ever heard
Huh.
of the McCain store-bought cakes? Are those out in the US or are those only here?
McCain store-bought?
Yeah, so basically like they're cakes that you buy from the store. They're in the fridge. They're packaged, and it's called they're McCain cakes.
Oh, McCain cake.
Have you ever heard of that?
Wait, McCain cake. Let me see if there's one near me.
MCCAIN.
Yeah,
The
I don't
best.
know.
Mm. It's
I'm like,
okay.
where is this? I'm looking on Instacart, like, oh wait,
No,
I
so you can
do.
buy it from like Walmart or wherever.
Yeah, I
Buy it.
actually see. I think this says that there's some locally. Anyway,
You have to
deep and
buy it.
delicious, it says. Okay.
Yes. Deep and delicious. Oops. You have to buy it. I'm telling you. And then it's gonna be your new pregnancy craving.
Lord have mercy. Wait, so this was your wedding cake? I'm sorry, I'm confused now.
No, so how you actually see what I mean by like jumping from topic to
Yes,
topic? That's me, ADHD. Thank
you're
you.
good.
It was gonna be our wedding cake, so we were gonna buy them and we were gonna serve them, and we are gonna like buy five, stack them, and then like remake the icing because it was our favorite cake. And then I'm like,
Yeah.
that's too much effort. So then we just bought it. We just bought a carrot cake.
Did you sample it before?
Which one? The carrot cake?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Oh, okay, good, good, good. And it was your
Oh, it
favorite.
was so good.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did that.
Yeah.
And
Celebrate it.
funny thing that I did that because I was on I was on prep, so it's not that
Oh, see,
serious.
honestly though, like I eloped during my prep. I eloped and I was like, Coach, I'm
Yeah,
taking, and my birthday was during prep. I was like, I'm celebrating my birthday. I did a
100%.
cruise during, I mean, you can live your life during prep,
Yeah.
and it's okay if your show dates move. I mean, I get it if you have specific like national shows you're trying to do,
Yeah.
but honestly, like
You don't
eloping,
get one wedding.
that's what I said. I was like, I'm only gonna elope one time in my entire life,
Yeah.
and I am going to enjoy everything about it and not stress about my next workout, my next meal. Honestly, it's not like you gorge yourself. It's just you relieve the stress of like having to think about it.
I know. I agree. So yeah, we enjoyed it. I tried my cake before I bought it, and it was like I think 4 weeks out at that point, and I'm like, it is what it is. It's fine.
Love it.
Got second place, so it's okay. Maybe if I
Right?
didn't eat the cake, maybe I would have got first.
Yeah, I'm sure
People are
that's,
gonna say that probably.
I know people will say that kind of stuff. It's like,
It's like
what is it
no.
that, oh yeah, it tastes like second place. I hate that. I'm like, dude, please. People will say that about a protein bar.
Yeah, it's true.
That's why I'm
It's
team
true.
macros. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I remember I went to Florida, well, as part of that cruise, and I was like, I am tracking chocolate covered key lime pie. It is gonna be great. And I did. I tracked a half of a bar because that's what I had.
That's
And
good.
it worked for
See
me.
the McCain cake because it's store bought, I can track that.
That's right, easily. And I love it. And I love when you can track it by the gram because I think actually it's surprising. Like when I started tracking macros, I was surprised like by how much 20 grams actually is.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except for the McCain cake.
You're like, that's you're doing
That's
more than 20
like,
grams.
what is that?
Have you ever been told that you can't heal your relationship with food unless you stop competing? Or do you feel like a lost cause because every time you've tried to heal your relationship with food, you're always met with the same challenges, judgment, shame, and guilt? But you're ready to get to that root of your relationship with food and really understand your habits and behaviors and make lasting changes that are going to drive you forward in your competition goals as well as your life. And of course, if you don't want to stop competing in this sport that you love, but you also don't want to continue down the rabbit hole that is setting you back in your life, emotions, and potential for success on stage, I want you to know that you can get through this. And no, you do not have to stop competing in order to do so. You truly deserve to have successful preps, productive improvement seasons, and peace of mind year round. Because when your head is full of thoughts of food, eating, or guilt, you cannot invest that energy into the goals you truly care about. which is a big reason why I launched the 5-week food relationship program and why it has been my most highly demanded program to help competitors like yourself make peace with food so they can pursue the sport they love for the long run without having to worry about sacrificing their mental health. If you want to learn more about this program and hear from others who have done it, then visit www.celestial.fit/foodfreedom. Scroll through that page, get some information, and if you're inspired and you are ready to take action on this, go ahead and apply to work with me, and I will be getting back to you within 24 to 48 hours to go over your application and discuss your concerns specifically to determine if and how I can support you. Again, that is at www.celestial.fit/foodfreedom.
So I want to ask you, like, for someone who's maybe stuck in low confidence right now, and they're putting maybe a lot of their worth into placings or their potential as an athlete into placings, what would you tell them, or what would you maybe use from your own experiences to encourage them?
I think with the eighth place that I got this last season as my finisher was very mentally tough, but only for a day, and that's because it's only one day, it's only one placing. So you just have to take yourself out of that situation because there's many, many shows that you're going to be able to get a better chance at. Maybe the peak wasn't as good. Maybe, and that's not your fault. So I think, or maybe it is, and that's okay because at the end of the day, you have multiple other chances to become better, to learn from your experiences and to either get a higher placing or maybe get the same placing, but you grow from that and you become better each and every time. So there's always another chance that you're going to be able to get to redo to become better. So I think getting second, and then eighth, yes, it was hard, but I think taking a step back and being like, this is just one day. I am very confident that this package was the best that we could have brought to stage. I had my family around me. My mom flew out. This is where me and Taylor got engaged a year prior.
Mm.
There was so many. I was number 72. My dad wasn't there, but it was like my last show of the season. My dad's birth year is 1972, so even though that it didn't work out the way I wanted it to, everything was perfect. And I think that you just have to look from, an outsider's perspective and be like, some people would love to be in your position right now. You've done everything in your power to get to where you need to be in this moment. And even though the placing didn't work out, you've overcome so much in your life, and you should be happy with where you are at in this very moment. So I'm proud of where I was. I'm proud of who I am now. And I think other people should be too,
Mm.
because,
I
I
love
can keep
that.
going on.
No, I love that. Like being happy where you are. Like I've struggled with my expectations getting in the way of me actually being present in
Mhm,
moments because I'm like too focused on what I expected or what I wanted, not having happened, that I missed out on the blessing that was right in front of me.
mhm.
So I think that it's a great word to just be present, be happy where you are,
Yes.
and celebrate what went right. And even if it didn't go exactly to plan, like there's still so much to celebrate.
Yeah, and then going back to your point of like what I did to, focus more on the journey and getting there rather than the placing and like getting to the top. I think for me, getting those like 3 seconds in a row, I'm like, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm almost at first. But it wasn't about that. You know,
Mhm.
I do this at the end of the day because I love this. And yes, I want to be an Olympian. And yes, I want to win a pro show. But at the end of the day, I love this lifestyle. It's helped me overcome an eating disorder. It's helped me gain confidence. It's helped me build a career, build a business. It helped me meet my, marry my husband and learn about him. And it's developed into this beautiful world that I have. I've created so many friendships. So I think, bodybuilding, yes, it is to win and you want to win, of course, but I think if you look at everything around you, it's so much more than just getting a placing and getting on stage and having that one day. It's about everything leading up to that day.
So true.
And
Yeah.
after that day.
Yeah, like I'd much rather be happy with my process and the person I was in that process than just be glad about a certain placing.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
So we've talked a little bit about your husband, but I think it'd be fun to kind of chat more about your guys' business together.
Mhm.
And before we do that, you've kind of shared how his love actually supported you in finding yourself and your worth, whereas most people will say you need to love yourself first before you love someone else. And I tend to disagree with that a lot of the time. So I'm curious, like, how was your love story different from that?
What's funny is in my vows, I said, they say, before you can love someone, you have to love yourself first. But he changed that for me. That
Mm,
was what was in my
I love
vows.
that.
Um, and you know, I always thought that that was the case, but he is so selfless and he has taught me so much of how to treat other people, how to, be yourself, how to love and support like everyone around you. And, he is I just don't know humans. I didn't know humans like him existed. I
Oh,
don't know if a lot of them do, but he is
that's
like he
cool.
is the best human I have ever met in my life.
Wow.
I lost my train of thought because yeah, he's just so great.
Aw, I love that. Yeah, no, actually, that was the answer to the question. Like, your love
Okay.
story was different. He's different.
Yeah. Yeah. I would never take his love for granted. He has changed my entire life, and I wouldn't be here today, honestly, without him. So I'm very grateful for him if he's listening.
Yeah. I hope he listens because you've said a lot of great things about him.
Yeah.
So, y'all launched your coaching business last November, right?
Yes.
What is it like to build something so personal with your partner?
Mm. What is it like to build something so personal? I think it's nice because we have something that we can work with and collaborate with together and grow together. I think there's nothing more beneficial than, having a supportive role with your partner that like both of you can build together and work towards like your dream together. Why would you want to do that separately? If there's any blessing in my life, it's that I'm able to build a career and build this life with him. And the fact that we're able to do that together is, everything that I could have ever wanted. I actually did dream of this way back when. I was like, I want a partner and I want someone that I can build a career and a coaching career with and it be strictly online,
Wow.
travel the world together and and it's literally happening. So
Oh, I love that. That's
yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
And you each have so many personal experiences that I imagine influence and apply to the people you support.
Correct. So, he actually was a professional skier. So he's dealt with like the
Huh.
sports side of things, injuries, all that. So, technically and training expertise like come in handy with him. And then me with our female side of things, like being like the supportive role and the nurturer, although sometimes I can be hammer it down. Um, yeah, it's a nice balance between the two of us.
Yeah.
So I take on more the nurturing role and he can be the hard ass when he needs to be, and then vice versa if it needs to be
Yeah.
like that as well. So
Yeah, I love that so much. And I think it's
mhm.
cool that you guys get to build that together.
Yeah, it's the best. It's
Aw,
simple.
that's
And then
awesome.
sometimes if it's like, hey, have you responded to that client? He's like, yeah, I did, or like vice versa. And like it just
Yeah.
a nice kick in the ass when, we need to make sure things are aligned. Because sometimes like also you could get complacent with
Yeah,
it, right? But if we keep wanting to be better and make sure that we're making each other better and our business better, it's like kicking the ass is given every now and again.
absolutely. Yeah, it's good to have accountability and support.
I agree. I agree.
So now that you're taking time away to build and to support him, like what are your hopes for your future and like when you want to start again and prep
Mm,
again?
I It's hard because I want to go back right now. I love being lean. My body functions well lean. Like I'm able to work hard and my mental feels very strong when I'm in a prep. So I feel like when I'm building, I get like a little bit more lazy and I'm more tired and just because
Mhm.
I'm eating and
Yeah.
growing, so like you become more sleepy, I feel like. Um, so honestly, I want to prep now just so I can like feel the oomph
Hmm.
again. But I think for me, I need to solidify that growth. And I honestly don't want to go back until like we're 150% sure that I will be an Olympian and a good top placing Olympian. I don't want to go back just to get a participation trophy, I'll be honest. I want that top 15. If that's a potential, I want that. I'm sitting here, I'm saying it out loud and I'm manifesting that because that's what I want for myself and I know I can get there. Um, so I'm thinking early April, maybe we'll go back. I have this dream in my brain that I will do New York and Pittsburgh, but we'll see if the cards play out that way.
Be awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be so cool. And is there anything I didn't ask you about your journey that you wish I would have?
I don't know. I'm sure I'll have like a million things when I go back if I if I watch this.
Yeah, you're like, shoot, she should have asked me that. I should have mentioned that.
No, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Well, I've loved talking with you and I've certainly learned a lot and I love to end the episodes by getting people's best advice. So what is your best advice for someone who has never competed before but would like to, and then your best advice for somebody who is on their road to pro?
Best advice for someone that's on the road to pro, actually funny, my one of my good friends just turned pro recently, and I think, you know, my best advice would to be to follow what your coach tells you. Don't fall off plan. Do your best every single day to, take yourself one step further, become better. Because when you want something for yourself, if you take yourself out of it, you will get there regardless of like everything around you. I think like for me, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but when I, took myself out of the journey or took myself out of the situation and just really focused on the journey around me and got rid of the one goal that I wanted, I think everything got better. So I think if you just really focus on the journey rather than the placing or trying to get that pro card, I think it'll happen.
Love that. I love that. And what about for the person who's never competed?
A person that's never competed, well, I think first step, I'm sure a lot of people say this, hire a coach, hire a good coach, somebody that cares about you and someone that you collab with and vibe with, because it's not a dictatorship, it's a collaboration. And I think make sure that you also know your body before going into a prep. Like if you're struggling in any way, or if you don't know how to track macros, maybe track macros, maybe, try a meal plan for yourself, develop the skills before going into something. So, um, yeah, develop the skills before going into something before starting, because I think it'll
Yeah,
give you a lot of tools and tactics while you're, trying to create this new life.
totally
It's
agree.
hard. It's hard.
Yeah, it would be a
So,
tough transition. It's good to take that time to learn and
mhm.
almost like practice.
Yeah, like a pre-prep phase.
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, how can people follow your journey, connect with you, and even work with you?
If you want to work with me, we or tailor, us together. You can follow Team ProFit, so it's team_pro.fit, and then you can also follow Bree, Bree Wilson. See, I'm
Mm,
still getting
it
used to
is,
saying that.
yeah.
BreeWilson.IFBB Pro on Instagram. I don't have TikTok, but maybe I should get on TikTok. I don't know. Let's not talk about
I
TikTok.
mean, no one says you have to.
No. And then you can also follow her posing showcase where I take my clients through their posing as well. And then if you want to support me, please use code Bree for OMG Competition Bikinis because I'm sponsored by her and she's
Aw.
amazing. Anna, if you're listening, you're the best. And yeah.
Bree, did you know I had Anna on the podcast like years and years and years and
What?
yeah, I did like a feature of I did like a presentation series and I featured her for Suits actually.
Oh my God, I love her. She's the best, like literally the best. I think I went through like four different blues last year and four different like reds. She's
Aw,
probably like,
that's
this girl's
so cute.
crazy. Maybe I need a
Aw.
new color next year.
I love that. Well, we'll put all of that in the show notes page. So you guys, that's always on celestial.fit/podcast. If you're listening right away, it'll be at the top of that page. If you're listening in the future, just scroll down to the category section, which is alphabetized. Not only will you see the ways to connect with us, but you're also going to see a full episode summary, a bulleted list of the topics we covered, and episode timestamps so you can go back, listen to your favorite parts or share it with your friends, family, teammates. Let them know what resonated most with you. And of course, tag us. It goes a long way for the show, but it means so much more to myself and to the athletes who come on here and share their stories so openly and vulnerably. And maybe you'll be in this seat one day too, which is always so cool. So it's nice to spread the love. And thank you all for listening. And Bree, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This is my very first podcast
That's
ever.
so crazy. You crushed it.
So thank you.
I hope
I
it
tried.
goes down in history as like your favorite, because
Yeah,
I'm
my
sure there'll
God.
be many more.
I hope
So, yeah,
so.
I know you did amazing, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. I appreciate yours.
You're welcome. And to everybody listening, I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your day, night, or morning, wherever you are in the world while you're listening to this episode. Just make it awesome.